See, there's a few things about this that triggers, there's a few dimensions to this that triggers different analysis from me, right? This is mainly the reason why I don't bother to share, commentary that has to do with the real life, like extreme, severe policy that shaped the sense of community that we're actually dealing with as blacks, right? Because it's not a white person that you ever knew that you can't even imagine, and historically there's just no white person or any other racial group that you can imagine that would do something like this, right? Other than if he actually was benefiting from it because it wasn't a serious agenda that would really shape the black sense of community. If he was pushing for something that wasn't significant to the community, that's the only time you go hand in hand, arm in arm, in a nonviolent way, like Martin Luther King did in the past, right? So that's the only time you see things like this, with people like this, with do-nothing individuals like this, right? So when it's something where it's outside of quid pro quo, political term where it's supposed to be both ends that benefit if both ends actually show interest in each other, right? So this is just one-ended, and it's always been one-ended, right? So I don't bother to, like, the Black Lives Matter and screaming out until your lungs are hemorrhaged and everything to the like, right, is not a necessity to people like me, right? Crying for validation from people that never saw you as valuable in the first place and continue to outwardly just show that there's nothing that can happen to you that would make them object for you, right? There's nothing that there's not, and the thing is this, right? All white people, right? All white people, I don't see them as, the complete impetus of and the onus of all of these things that are being shaped and put together in our faces today, right? But I see them as benefiting from all of the policies and everything that we have to wait for the trickle down of, right? We have to wait for things to trickle down from these actual policies. I see them benefiting directly from these policies before we get what's trickled, the crumbs at the end, right? I see them benefiting from that, so you can easily say that I'm not the problem, I'm not the person that directly did that to you. Correct, but you'll also never see a white version of Martin Luther King. You won't see a Spanish version of Martin Luther King, Indian version, Chinese version. You'll never see any of that. And for that reason, I would never see it necessary to actually put before any of these people, and especially not any white person, the analysis that showed a necessity for what we actually need in our sense of community to make it an actual community. That's absolutely absurd and unnecessary to even think that that notion is warranted at any point. This video right here shows you fair and clear that there's nothing that they will do for you if it has to do with something that could really, tarnish their legacy, the white political cult that they have going on. If it's anything that could, give them a bad outlook, right? Because looked at as going too far for individuals that, like, it's a crime for going too far for individuals that actually, voted them into office and things like that, right? We'll continue to fight for things and symbolically appeal to people that to certain black people whose minds is diminished to the point where it seems like I'm caring, right? Let's feed the emotional stem. Let's feed the long stem of emotions that black people actually have. Let's continue to feed that, right? Let's continue to feed that. In points in time where there's certain topics and measures that could be objected on, right? We could object to something that won't actually help them in the end, because God forbid that actually happens, right?